Hello everybody, thanks Brad. I would say the theme with this year's class was, with a very experienced team coming back, was to really try and fill the holes of the players that are getting close to graduating, and obviously just to upgrade the talent if we possibly can. You know, on paper we have a nice football team coming back, so we didn't have a lot of dollars to work with, not a lot of graduates, so it may not be the biggest class that we've ever had, but we're very, very happy with it. I thought I would just kind of go around and look at the depth chart and fill the guys in a little bit. Starting with our receiver core, we added a few guys in Alex Lepp, Zach Thielen, and you'll see and Todd Calaruz. We didn't have a lot of graduation at that spot, in fact none, so it's an area that we didn't need to really load up on very many players. The one special kid I think is Alex Lepp, because my wife told us that the coaching staff that we couldn't come back and get caramel rolls on our bus trips next year if we didn't get a real special kick return man. So Alex Lepp is that guy. He's going to be our return and punt man. So if you happen to be watching this, you're the key addition to our recruiting class. So, but like I say, not a lot of additions there, just for the simple fact we have everybody coming back. In the line, you can never have enough big guys. And we're very happy with the addition of Dylan Peterson from Piers. We got Alex Bolter, Matthew Cohen Tuff, Aaron Bartholomew. So those guys will be kind of the next generation. Most of our line will be back for 2 more years, our offensive line. So these kids will be able to be very patient with and develop them, so we won't have to be in a big hurry with those guys. But they are definitely kind of the future guys for us. We get into the backfield, and probably the one interesting player is a transfer from the University of North Dakota, Stephen Battle. Stephen got caught up in a real weird situation. When North Dakota started out in Division II, they switched to Division I. He ran out of eligibility there. He has 1 more semester to go to school and 1 more year to play football. So he wanted to do that, and he transferred over. And with Dustin Cropland there and Brad Hemling, Brandon Miles coming back, we thought it'd be nice to have 1 more back. I think last year at times we were a little thin in the backfield, so we added him. Got some other nice players that I really like, Jared Flatta, Marcus Miranda. So some of those guys will add depth to an area that we just didn't have a lot of guys last year. Quarterback, obviously, with an all-conference player coming back in Derek Edholm, and I think you've seen what Lance Rongstedt can do on the field. There's a couple guys that we haven't had an ability to show yet, Alex Hess and Larry Miller. So again, we didn't have a real big need to bring in a lot of quarterbacks. There's one that can be coming in here. We can't announce him today, but I think is going to be a good addition to the program. At tight end, we obviously, with a good young player in Brian Leonhardt back, we feel good about that situation, but with adding Joe Hurlbut and Shane Franks, we thought we need some more guys. We just don't have many tight ends, and there's times when I felt like we kind of wore Brian down a little bit out there. So those are some of the offense additions that we added to the program, and we're pretty excited about those guys. Defense. As the saying goes, you win the championships with those guys. So we felt with Jordan Larnois and Rob Wills getting ready to graduate, we need to make a special emphasis to get kind of the next generation of D linemen. And so we added Nate Adams, Wayne Paulus, there's Dan Keebler, Mike Jensen, William Ranke or JJ. And we feel really excited about this group. They're all high motor guys, play extremely hard, very athletic, and I think we have a year to still build those guys up, but they're going to have to be a little bit ready to go a little bit sooner than our old linemen. But just high motor, high energy guys, and we're really, really excited about that group of guys. The linebacking core, again, we have a number of outside linebackers returning, but there's one guy I want to mention, Brian Beckers from Albany, another high motor guy that I just really, really enjoyed watching run around and play. Kyle Asmus, David Ackerman, 2 inside backer type of bodies that are that same deal. We usually look for guys that play downhill, extremely good motors. And then probably the one I'm really excited to get is a local guy, Ev Olson. Ev tested out like we could do in Division II, as good as any of the prospects we had in this year. So to get a local player from Bemidji, that's always exciting, and I think Ev's just a great fit for the program. So looking forward to big things from Ev. In the secondary, we are getting a couple of corners that are getting up there in age. Anthony Ragsdale, Sid Johnson. So we wanted to get a couple of athletic type of guys in the backfield. One is Pat Cotter from Anoka. Pat tested out extremely well. He's from the same high school Derek Edholm is from, Anoka. Their coach swears he's one of the better athletes they've had come out of that school. So we're excited with him. And Luke Girding, a player where Brian Lehart is from. I love the kids from Spring Lake Park, the way they play. And the coach said he's just another one that plays extremely hard. And kind of a fun one here with our Georgia connection, Scott Christensen. His dad played football here in the 80s and went down there and did some home visits. And Scott's one of the kids coming up from Georgia, that big time hitter, and we're excited to get him up here. So I think that kind of talks about the kids and going across the depth chart. And I said that was our goal, to kind of replace areas that were a little short in numbers, or guys that were getting a little bit old. And I think we did a pretty good job of that. So, any questions? Do you have anything, Coach Medbury?
Specialist?
Oh, I forgot one right there. Yeah, as we try and look at areas that we're trying to improve on the team too, we wanted to get a little kicking, punting challenge. And we have Chase Wakefield, his brother Bo is on the team. Forgot about him, thank you. And real creative kicker, punter, and I think he'll add a lot to our kicking game. So thank you about that, Coach. Any questions on the group of guys?
Last year you went down to Texas. I just noticed glancing at it here, I didn't see anybody there. Did you try to go back down there this year? Or?
I didn't, and I kind of felt like I was spreading us a little thin last year. So we tried to spend a little bit more time doing more home visits in Georgia, more home visits in Chicago, in the Minnesota area, just so that folks and the families had an opportunity to meet the head coach. And last year I just felt like I was in too many different places. And again, we certainly looked at a lot of kids down there, but the ones that fit our needs and the ones that had the most interest, we kind of already had pretty good situations at those positions. So I think I can see us going back there again next year, but this year we just didn't think it was the place to go.
Did you go to Alaska this year?
I did, and right now there could be some additions to the team with Alaska kids, and that'll probably happen after signing date.
Coach, you touched on Evan briefly. Can you expand more on what Evan brings on the defensive side of the ball?
I think his biggest assets are his hitting ability and his speed. When I watched the Brainerd game and the playoff games, and he just has the ability to run so well from sideline to sideline. And I think an ability to make big plays because of the way he plays downhill and is such a big hitter. So he's a kid that wanted to be here, and those guys always find a way to really help you out.
Nothing helps recruiting like winning. How much did last year's record help you?
It does, and we can point out the record and a team that should have been in postseason play and those types of things. It makes it easy, and then the success from the last really 10 years helps out a lot too. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort the kids put into things. It definitely doesn't hurt. Let's put it that way.
As you kind of broke it down by group, I think it was the receivers that you started with. Is that by design, maybe because you feel that's the strongest group as a group of these recruits, or is it somewhere else?
Well, you look, and Cam Abrams started all year, and Adam Berg rotated in there at our split end. You have Andrew Schultz coming back, who I believe was an all-conference type of player for us last year. You saw what Jody Henningsen was doing at the end of the year for us, the Duluth game, and he was playing really, really good football.